Bitcoin hits 72,000 US dollars, we're going to see more than $1 billion US dollars worth of Bitcoin short positions be getting liquidated. So I will be exactly talking about this, the most important consolidation phase that Bitcoin is currently creating over the course of this Easter weekend, and also the most important chart. So without any further ado, don't forget to slam that like button once again back above 1,000 likes. That will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. So looking at Bitcoin right now on the imminent short term, we can clearly start to see that Bitcoin indeed is creating a new consolidation phase, and we're clearly creating an upward sloping support line where Bitcoin, of course, is every single time finding support from. Here on the lower side, you can see that already for 4 times in a row, Bitcoin has been exactly bouncing from this exact support level. And yes, the downward sloping resistance line, we've already seen 2 major rejections from it as well. So basically, Bitcoin is currently consolidating sideways, and I'm expecting that most likely till Tuesday, we're going to be seeing not a lot of volatility due to the fact that it is, of course, Easter. And yes, once this Easter weekend is over, I am expecting a lot of volatility is going to be hitting the markets once again, because usually after a long period of sideways consolidation, and especially if we're creating such kind of a Bitcoin symmetrical triangle, I believe that usually the breakouts are quite significant. And yes, like I discussed many times before on the channel, Bitcoin is currently in this sideways consolidation range between the 71.3k and at 68,000 US dollars as support. So basically what we're currently seeing is that Bitcoin is consolidating between a very important level of support and resistance. And yes, like I explained many times before, whenever we're going to be either breaking above resistance or below support, we're going to be seeing that next big direction shift, either towards another push towards the upside or a big drop towards the downside. And like I explained in many videos before, I am prepared for both scenarios because I have set up a trade worth over $1 million US dollars here on Bybit to be catching a next Bitcoin trade if we were to be seeing that dip towards the downside. My orders are set up around $60,000 towards 59,000 US dollars. I'm very much aware that this is most likely not going to get filled, but of course, if Bitcoin potentially does seize the breakdown from the symmetrical triangle and we see, of course, another move towards the downside, I do believe that, of course, any chance that we're currently getting to actually accumulate Bitcoin at a cheaper valuation would be a gigantic opportunity. And if Bitcoin were to be falling lower, the levels of $60,000, $59,000, and 58,000 US dollars are going to be the exact levels where I will be accumulating a new Bitcoin long position. You can right now go to the link description of today's video where you can claim a free 200 US dollars worth of Bitcoin or Ethereum trade. All you need to do is go to the link description of today's video, sign up an account using that link below, deposit $100 in your first 7 days, and you will be getting a free 200 US dollar trade, which is of course very, very generous. And also currently, if we're looking at the price action of Bitcoin, we're creating of course another semi-future gap over the course of this weekend. I mean, last time around, we indeed created also a massive Bitcoin semi-future gap, but of course, Bitcoin left the gap open, and still the gap is sitting around 63,000 US dollars, and it is still left unfilled. But of course, like I explained many times before, approximately 4 out of the 100 times, every single time once a Bitcoin CME gap is getting created, we don't tend to fill it up here. And this is maybe one of them where we are not going to be filling it up. But of course, over the course of a regular weekend, we're expecting that Bitcoin is of course indeed just going to be filling up that CME future gap. Then quickly also talking about the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, because currently, if I am looking at the liquidation heat map, we're seeing more than $1 billion US dollars worth of Bitcoin shorts getting liquidated if Bitcoin were to be hitting 72,400. And that is exactly this green box that I draw here on the top side. If Bitcoin were to be reaching this green box, we're going to see $1 billion US dollars worth of short liquidations in the market, and that potentially could cascade a massive move towards the upside. But that could be also potentially mark the top of this move. So it's a very important level where we should be looking for, because yes, sometimes Bitcoin does take out the liquidity and then move towards the other direction. But if we confirm the break above that level, of course, we're going to be going much, much higher afterwards. But of course, there is still a very likely scenario that Bitcoin is just going to be doing a liquidity grab and potentially reverse again here. So keep your eyes wide open on this level. 72.3k is where all the liquidity is currently met in the market. So most likely, indeed, yes, we're first going to be seeing a push higher before Bitcoin goes lower, first of all. But of course, also if we're going to be going higher, we're going to be seeing a push higher. So what is very likely to be happening next in terms of the next Bitcoin move here is that we are indeed going to be seeing the push towards the upside, because the majority of the liquidity is currently getting built up above us. So it's very likely that Bitcoin is also going to be moving towards the upside. So this is a very likely thing to be happening next year, and that would also potentially mean that Bitcoin is breaking outside of this consolidation range. But of course, I want to be quickly explaining there are two very important levels in this region where we're currently trading it, and that is of course the red dotted line, but also the red line right here, because that is also a very important point in the market where we previously got massively rejected from and found some support from, and also we touched that level right here, and then boom, Bitcoin had a massive move towards the downside. So there's still a lot of liquidity in this region right here, and that is why I still think it is a very important level to be paying attention towards right now. So going even further, we do know that of course the Bitcoin corrections tend to get less and less exponential, and of course once Bitcoin clearly breaks above its all-time high with a weekly candle close, we're most likely going to be seeing Bitcoin go absolutely exponential. And it is currently happening, and I do believe that we're right at the beginning of that next big expansion phase in the market. So I don't believe that this is the right time to be panicking on Bitcoin. And also, with only like 19 days away from the Bitcoin halving, I do believe that this is not the right time to be panicking, and that most likely the most amount of gains are still yet to be realized. And yes, guys, if you want to be making money, I do believe that there's also a lot of money to be made with trading altcoins. I mean, recently I bought this meme coin, and it has been absolutely skyrocketing. Miro, it's right now worth over $200,000, like you can see in my portfolio. But if you want to be trading Bitcoin and want to be staying up to date about all the things I'm doing, make sure to also follow me on Twitter, because yes, I will be trading this account not only with leverage but also on spot towards $1 million in the upcoming weeks. And of course I will show everything on my YouTube channel, on my altcoin channel, but also on my Twitter. So make sure to check it out right there. But anyways, this was it for me in today's update video. It was definitely a shorter video. It is right now Easter. I have also got things to do. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.